Assalamualaikum to my lecturer and my friend. My name is Amni Fazli Yunus. Today I will present English for employment, good resume and bad resume. Before I explain about the example of good and bad resume, let me tell you guys on what is resume. Basically, a resume is a formal document that summarizes your professional qualification, including relevant work experience, ability, education, and noteworthy achievement. A resume, which is usually accompanied with a cover letter, help you demonstrate your skill and persuade employer that you are quality and hireable. Good resume. As for the good resume, there are some of the important points need to be highlighted by the applicant. From the resume, we can see that the objective state is very clear and consistent. This is because it is the first thing that will be seen by the interviewer when they go through your resume, and as we all know, the first impression is always the most important, as people will start making their perception toward you after the first impression they made. Basically, a clear objective explaining above the position you apply for and what make you different from other. The company need to hear you for the position. Next, the font style used by the applicant is very easy to read. The interview session will usually last for a couple of hours in morning till evening. As there is too much resume need to be analyzed by the interviewer in order to differentiate you from other candidates and impression to interview. You need to give them a very good impression from the very beginning, and one way to do it by presenting to them a very professional resume that make them easy to read and easy their work. By doing this, it will obviously attract the interviewer to hear you for the position applied. Besides that, professional experience section in the resume is also a very critical part need to be emphasized by the applicant. In this section, the applicant need to list out all their work experience and history. The applicant will need to explain on their job responsibility during their previous work experience, as to give the further employer assurance that their previous work experience really will assist them in giving the best performance that will contribute to the good performance for the company as well. Last but not least, the color used in the resume also play a very tremendous role in getting the next impression from the further employer. There is always a confusion on what color are they most suitable to be used in a good resume. This is because bright colors are good to show that you are creative, and at the same time showing that you are giving all of your effort to make the further employer impressed with your resume. But in the other hand, some further employers also prefer the resume to be as simple as they can be, and using the minimal uses of color of the remind the professionalism. So in order to make it great, the candidate need to balance between the creativity and the personalism in the resume they will present to the further employer. Bad resume. As for the example of bad resume, there might be some points that are being misrepresented or wrongly seen by some of the people. When they are making the resume, first, a bad resume always has a long text in information in it. As we're already aware, in order to impress the further employer, we need to ease their word. By providing them with abundant amount of information in the resume, it will make them overwhelmed and bother to read all of the information in a quick time. So as a conclusion, they will not feel interested to go through your resume one by one, as it will waste their time. Therefore, all the key and highlight points you include in the resume will not be recognized by the interviewer, and this will harden the process to hire you for the position applied. Next, a resume with too much color use are totally an example of bad resume. This is because a resume is basically a document that needs to contain professional elements in it. By using too much color in your resume, you will make it difficult for the further employer to comprehend your detail in the resume, this making the chance for you to get the job very slim. In a more simple word, a resume need to be as simple as they can be. A very minimal color used as a main purpose is to provide to further employer with your important detail as an applicant that want to apply for the vacancy offer, and not to over apply them. Besides that, by using the approach, research fund will also make your resume to turn out bad. The fund use need to be professional and not to use more than 2 types of font in a resume is the best way to make your resume a good one. This is because resume is basically a document that presents above the detail of the applicant that want to apply for the job, so we need to make sure that the further employer have a good time with reading it. Some of the type of fund they are very professional is like the Time New Roman and Arial. By using this kind of font will make your resume more appealing and attractive to the further employer. Last but not least, spelling is the most crucial part in the resume. Need to be aware by the candidate when making their resume. This is because the element will show how one personality is, either it is in a bad way and good way. Candidate make a lot spelling and grammar error in their resume, so they are not fully commit to what they are doing, providing the best performance to the company if they are accept in the company. So in order to prevent this thing to happen, make sure that we do a very thorough checking on the resume rapidly until it really satisfies us.